Hampshire recovered from a dreadful start to their LV County Championship campaign to end the opening day against Leicestershire at the Ageas Bowl on top. Put in by Ramnaresh Sarwan, Hampshire lost both openers before a run had been scored. Jimmy Adams played an in-swinging delivery from Alex Wyatt back onto his stumps, while Michael Carberry edged Matthew Hoggard behind to give Niall O'Brien his first catch in Leicestershire colours following his close season move from Northamptonshire. 0 for 2 was hardly the start Hampshire wanted against a Leicestershire side with little experience in their bowling ranks. Liam Dawson tried to make the most of that as he led the recovery against a team which has started the last couple of summers with rare victories. Hampshire gave a debut to Australian George Bailey, who could not have even dreamt of a worse moment to come to the crease, but in spite of that he was soon showing his undoubted class with the bat. He was quickly onto anything which fell short from the bowlers as one boundary followed another. Perhaps best known on these shores at least as a T20 player, Bailey has plenty of runs under his belt in the first-class game too, and he was wasting no time in adding to them. Sarwan employed 7 different bowlers in the opening session, but few of them looked threatening. Bailey's 9th boundary took him to a classy-looking half-century which occupied only 61 deliveries. It was a mightily impressive debut in the championship for the man from Tasmania, who'd speedily turned this particular match on its head. The closest he came to getting out at this stage was when Michael Thornley found the inside edge of his bat, a rare error from the batsman. It's possible that Bailey will face tougher attacks than this Leicestershire one this summer, but he still had to score his runs, and that was something he continued to do freely as the afternoon wore on in Southampton. None of the bowlers were able to stem the flow of runs being scored by the man who led Tasmania to Sheffield Shield glory just last month. Dawson, after a more sluggish start, was also moving through the gears, playing in an encouraging fashion too. The runs were beginning to come at a good lick now as this pair added 141 for the third wicket in 32 overs to now put Hampshire ahead of the game. That was until Dawson on 46 used the middle of his bat but guided a ball from debutant Ollie Freckingham into the hands of Jigger Naik. That was the bowler's maiden first-class wicket. Parity may have been restored soon afterwards had Wyatt's shout for a leg before against James Vince been answered in the affirmative. It wasn't. But some quick thinking from O'Brien did finally end Bailey's innings in a rather bizarre fashion. His decision to dally outside his crease proved costly as he was stumped thanks to O'Brien's throw. Bailey departed for 93 and having been rather gifted that wicket, the visitors would have been hopeful of taking full advantage. The fact that they didn't was down to Vince and the vastly experienced Sean Irvine. Irvine played some very attractive strokes as he looked to get this particular summer off to a flyer. Taking Hoggard and Naik out of the equation, the rest of this Leicestershire attack had taken only 52 first-class wickets between them coming into this game, and perhaps with that in mind, Irvine refused to let any of the bowlers settle into a good line and length, as he and Vince went, for the most part, on the attack in adding the second century partnership of the day, having come together at 150 for 4. Vince whipped Naik to leg to bring up his own half-century. It was a good one too, occupying only 67 deliveries, this being his 9th 4 overall. Irvine also went to his 50 with a boundary, this being his 7th in a half-century which had used up 77 deliveries. The runs continued to flow until bad light and rain brought an end to the day early with 19 overs lost, although not everything came off the middle of the bat. Irvine ended the day on 57 with Vince on an impressive 77. The partnership between the two has thus far realised some 136 runs, and Hampshire will be looking for more on day 2 when play resumes with them on 286 for 4.